beef guy
saying
is?
your timeline is off. Your timeline is off. You don't realize that you first of all, you don't have a say because you think I'm 4 different people. How many big black dudes you see
Guy
walking
number
around?
4, whoever you are. If the order is switched, maybe you were guy number 2. Who cares at this point? Roast
Obviously
beef
you
guy.
don't. Obviously
Let's
you
just
don't.
let me. Because it was funny. We went to church, and then we literally just started hanging out like all the time. We went to like the BX, which is like the little store or department store on base, and just from the beginning, there was a level of comfort that I had with him that I had not experienced with another guy. I always felt like I had to pretend or put on false pretenses and be what I thought they wanted me to be. Uh, Kind of like the runaway bride, I guess. Kind of being the chameleon for that person. But he was just, I was instantly comfortable. I remember I had this bad habit of buying real cheap stuff. And I remember I was buying me some body wash. And I was like, oh, what's on sale? It's $1. And he literally is like, you gonna squeeze half the bottle on your loofah before you even get a lather. Girl, spend some money on something that's gonna last you. And for me, I didn't get offended or anything. I was just like, he is so right. And I sure did. I bought the more expensive
Leadership, guys. Leadership. Leadership starts
in the beginning.
in courtship. It really does. You bring a woman into your frame. You bring her into your frame. You don't go into her frame. You don't go into the emotional. You bring her into your frame. And already I was establishing masculinity. I was establishing I want to be your leader. I want to protect you. I want to help you through this world. And that's really what I was doing. I didn't realize at the time, 21 years old, but that's really what I was doing, was bringing her into my masculine frame. And so when you're dating a young lady, guys, take charge. Don't be overtly rude or anything, but take charge. Have a plan. Hey, we're going to go here. We're going to go do this. And if she's like, okay, cool. But if she fights you on that, and that means she's not there for you. Because all she wanted was to be with me. She didn't matter. It didn't matter how much money I had. She actually at this time outranked me, which means she made more money than I made. But she just wanted to be with me. And so we started on the road to this great courtship, and I'm just enamored by her. I love her sweetness, and she's so feminine. And in the military, femininity, it comes at a premium. A lot of women in the military are not feminine, but she was very feminine. She was scared of bugs, and she was just this breath of fresh air for me, and she accepted me. She loved me. She didn't try to change me, like a lot of other women I had dealt with. She liked the fact that I was who I was,
And for me, I think from the beginning, you really impressed me because I'm 3.5 years older than him. And at that time, we talked about it.
Most people don't know that.
Yeah.
Because you look like you're 12.
I'm 3.5. I'm 3.5 years older than him. So I was really impressed by his level of maturity at the age that he was at. And the guys that I had met that were my age and even a little bit older they paled in comparison as far as maturity goes. So that was something that just really impressed me from day one. And like he said, that leadership quality, because I honestly wanted to be led. I wanted to have someone to lead me, because I realized I didn't want to live trying to do everything on my own, because I saw my mom do it. I really did. And I didn't want that for myself. I really wanted to be in a quality relationship where the man is taking the lead. That is what I wanted. I'm a traditional woman. That's what I wanted. So he checked like every box. I think for me in the beginning, though, he kind of scared me a little bit because he was checking like off every box, and it was happening quick. So for me...
And she fought me.
Yeah, I did. I tested him. I fought him, because everything that I literally prayed for, everything I literally was looking for, he was exceeding it, and it scared me. So I'll even say that to you, ladies, certain things that you're looking for, the qualities that you're looking for in your potential mate in the future, when you see those things, it may frighten you a little bit, but talk about it. Man, things that I'm looking for, you are exceeding those things. And it's kind of, it's taking me aback a little bit. So I just want to maybe slow things down just a little bit. Don't be overly dramatic. Always slow things down and have a little distance. Don't do that kind of stuff, but talk about some of the apprehensions that you might be feeling, even if it's, wow, those things that I'm looking for, you are it, and now I'm a little scared. So
yeah, and we, like, I wasn't this perfect guy. No. I was young, 21 years old. I'm still trying to figure the world out. Don't have it all figured out, but I have a plan. I have a plan, and I'm executing that plan. And so we had to go through a few things. You know, she was extremely insecure when we first got extremely insecure, and I was extremely immature. So those two things don't go together.
Yeah, that was
you know, even though I was
mix.
mature for my age, I still was 21 years old.
Right.
And so there were times when we'd be out and a girl walked past, and I had a bad habit of, you know, didn't know. There's just a habit. It was just a habit because when you're single and you're young, and she was my first serious relationship. This is the only woman I've ever loved. Outside of my sisters and my mother and my daughter, this is the only woman I've ever loved. And so it was difficult.
Yeah.
Because when you have an insecure person and a person who is immature, those two things kind of sit in the fight against each other. So there was a lot of going back and forth, and you know, I saw you looking at her, and okay, I did look, so what? I'm with you, and it was a lot of that went on. And I think a lot of that culminated in, and this went into our marriage, and we'll talk about it down the road.
Yeah.
But when when you met my parents, you think you met my parents first, right?
Yes, I met your parents first before you met my. Yeah.
I had went home, and without her, and my dad and I sat down and we talked, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna marry this girl, and I showed him a picture of her, and he picked it up. Man, you have to meet my dad. That's
the coolest dude.
He's like the coolest cat, man. And he picked the pictures up, and he looks at it, and he goes,
He's so cool.
She's pretty now, boy.
That's how he talks.
That's exactly how he talks. Now she's pretty now. That's pretty. That skin and them lips, boy. She's pretty. And he said, "That's my daughter-in-law right there." And that's how I knew. You know, my mom was, "Oh, she's pretty, son." But my mom was like a show and prove type person. She's like, "Oh, I want to meet her." I don't care about no picture.
And that's another. Yeah, my mother-in-law is amazing. Yeah, she can vet him like.
Oh yeah.
She got a gift of discernment. Like, she'll pick it quick. Yeah, she's sharp.
And so the next time I came home, a few months later, I brought her with me, and she got to meet my entire family.
You know I'm laughing.
If you ever saw what's the movie, The Nutty Professor, it's not that bad of a joke.
No, it's not that bad.
But yeah, she got to meet my whole, and they instantly fell in love with her. She even got sick while she was there.
I had strep throat.
And
didn't even know it.
My family took care of her. I took care of her. We had to actually leave a little early to get her some medical care and stuff like that.
I felt horrible physically, but I really felt horrible because I'm like, dang, that's a great first impression.
But they
were so sweet.
Yeah, they was really cool, and I left there knowing that I was doing the right thing. I knew that I had heard correctly and that I was doing the right thing, and it was never a question. But it's always good to hear it from your parents because you have so much love and respect for them.
You met my mom a little bit later than that, and then you met my dad separately because my parents are divorced. So my dad, I saw that you and my dad seemed to like really click. Y'all
almost immediately.
Like y'all were talking. Where were we at? We were at a basketball.
I took him to the gym.
Yeah,
we were shooting around.
Yeah, shooting the basketball, and they really just were talking.
I think men tend to bond while we're doing something. Just sitting there looking at each other like, if we're doing something like working with our hands or doing a sport, men tend to bond that way. So I figured, even at the young age of 21, I was like, okay, this works in the military. This is what so I was like, let's just go shoot around.
So you and my dad bonded quickly. You and my mom, it appeared that y'all clicked very quickly too. Like the first, because it was so sweet. I had to work, and he actually took off to take my mom around base to kind of introduce her to the base, show her around, and like they spent time together. And in the beginning, it appeared that they really hit it off. I'm like, yes, we're firing on all cylinders here. It wasn't until we got to Mobile, and y'all remember from another video to meet, aunts, cousins, and all that the other side came out. And then when she saw that I really was enamored and in love with him, and that I was serious about moving on, in her mind she's like, oh wait a minute, I'm about to lose my daughter. I'm about to lose a person that I rely on, and I don't know if I like that. So then she kind of turned a little bit because I think she was so afraid that he was just going to take me away.
She didn't like the fact that
she would have to share.
She felt that I had a hold on you that she thought was only for her, and it caused some problems. And I mean, it did.
We had to have it was a deal breaking relationship. Like if I had said it was the kind of relationship that I had to have my mom to say, hey, I love you, I'll always be your daughter, but this right here is gonna be first. Like this relationship, we're gonna get married, so my priorities lie with him. I had to have that conversation with her because had I not, we wouldn't have been.
And it came to a tipping point where there was one conversation that was going to be had because she had some issues with me, according to her, It was just, she was just triggered. It had nothing to do with me.
Nothing
Had everything to do with her husband, her ex-husband. But that's another
Yeah.
story. And so we were going over to her room, her hotel room, to have a discussion with her about how she had
Disrespected you.
openly disrespected me,
Yeah.
and my family.
Yeah.
And we were going to have a discussion. And I had already told myself, if we get in here and Chauntel chooses her mom's side over me, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because as much as I loved her, I knew that I couldn't get married. I couldn't be in a marriage where I wasn't respected. Even at the tender age of 21, I understood the brevity of the situation.
Which is such a powerful point, because we coach people in relationships. They've been together 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and the man has never established that standard of respect. And so the lines have been blurred, and then you're in the middle of the marriage trying to gain that respect, and it's
really difficult.
Really difficult to do that.
Difficult.
Yeah.
But needless to say, as you see, 21 years later, that conversation went very well, and her mother was sufficiently put in her place, and has been ever since. And
Mom loves him.
She loves me, and I love her. We have a very unique relationship, but we love each other. But it's different because I'm gonna be me, and she's gonna be her, and I am a man of honor and integrity. I pride myself on that, but I also am a man that don't take no disrespect.
Yeah.
And so we have our moments, but we still love each other. We're still family, and I've done anything I can to help her and make her comfortable, and I will continue to do that. So that kind of leads up to our proposal. So I go one day, my coworker now, Joe, if you're watching this, Joe Morgado, if you're watching this, we went to the mall on our lunch breaks in our uniform, and I picked out a ring, and I paid a significant amount of money for a young man, and we're gonna upgrade that ring here soon. And I decided I was gonna ask her to marry me. And so I go to my room, and she has left a hairpin in my room.
One of those banana hair clips.
Clips in the room, and I'm like, how do I do this? So I take the clip, put the ring on the clip, put it on the dresser. She comes home from work, knocks on my door as always, and she comes, hey, all bubbly, she's all happy, and and she sits down, and I'm kind of just sitting there, and I was like, hey, you left the hair clip in my room. Again, I was like, you always leaving stuff over here. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, can you just take the clip and just,
he was rude.
Just leave. Just tell her just leave.
He was rude.
And that's not in my nature. So she was really like, oh, what's wrong with you? And then she gets the clip, snatches off the dresser. She's mad now. Mad.
Because you're rude.
And walks out the room, and she gets halfway out the room, and she looks down, she sees the ring, and she throws this clip with this expensive ring on it. I'm like, no!
I scream, and I throw it. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, and throws it.
You're like, no.
And so then I proposed to her, and that's the story of us. That's kind of how we became to be. And I think it's a good place to stop. We'll pick up our next video. Will be the wedding.
Dun, dun, dun.
The lead up to the wedding. Lots to decipher there.
Oh, yes. Oh, and I don't know if you can see, we're in OkiLonestar. We're going to put the link down in the description. This is a brand that we actually are in partnership with.
Yep. Veteran owned. Yep.
So check them out.
And we'll also put the code down there. So go on over there, and you can get, I think it's 15% off?
I think so.
15-20% off on us. We got you. All right. And with that, it's enough said.